Hey, this is Sam here from kitchengadgetsclub.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I want to show you how easy it is to make mashed potatoes using your Ninja Speedi. There's often the question about how do you do mash when you don't have a pressure cooker. Well, you can also steam those potatoes, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that right now. So let's get started, shall we? So I ended up with some spare Maris Piper potatoes, so I thought these would be brilliant for making some mashed potatoes for you with. So I've got my favourite peeler, I've got my knife for chopping them, and you cook them directly in the bottom of your cooking pot. So shall we start? So any peeler will do the trick. And it doesn't matter if you've got some bad bits on it, because the peeler can get rid of them for you, can't it? God, I hate this brand of potatoes, or this type of potatoes. Nightmare, they're so starchy. There you have it. I've done half a bag here of potatoes, and that's perfect for showing you just how easy it is to do some mash. So I'm just going to get rid of the peeling so we can get them chopped and we can get them on. So to make them into mash, I recommend you go smaller because then they don't take as long to cook. And you can just start loading them all up into your Speedi. And then in they all go. So a quick wash the hands, because I find that those kind of potatoes are really starchy. I always end up with really dry hands if I have too much starch from the potatoes on them. So if that's you, do the same. So I've loaded them up. I've gone with quite a smallish size there. So now we can add in some water. You can use stock, but we find the stock quite strong when you're steaming them. So we're going to go with water, and then we can also add in some salt. 1 cup of water, 2 cups of water, 3 cups of water. So I'm aiming for 3 cups of water here. That's at 720 ml, because it's just a good amount to go in there. And then a good bit of salt, your potatoes, a little bit of pepper as well, and then we can get them on. So normally I would do 20 minutes if parboiling them halved for roasting. So considering the smaller, I'm going to go with 25 minutes on steam. So pop your lid down. So for your mashed potatoes, turn it on, and you want to flip it over. You want to put it down to steam, and so that they're super fork tender and really easy to mash, I'm going to go with 25 minutes and then press start. If you're serious about learning how to use the Ninja Speedi, then can I recommend our new multi-cooker time and temp chart. It's brand new, it's on pre-order now, and it's under a £5, and it has lots and lots of different cooking times based on the different settings. From steam air fry to when to air fry, grill, steam, and so many others. It will really get you started with using your Speedi and understanding how long to cook your food for. And now, back to the video. So we're on the countdown. You're going to see lots of steam very soon. I wanted to show you that just so that you can see the level of steam, and you know it doesn't take long before it's gone, but I just want to show you what it's like if you've not steamed yet using your Ninja Speedi. So are you ready for the steam? There's a lot of it. Oh wow, look at that. So we're just going to give it a minute or two for the steam to go so that you can see what the potatoes look like. So we've let the steam escape, and now we can show you what the potatoes look like. Oh, look at those. They are fork tender and perfect for mashed potatoes. So you'll find that you'll have a little bit of liquid still in the bottom, so you'll need to drain them, but apart from that, they are ready for mashing. So I've got my favourite bowl. We all have a favourite bowl, don't we, for different things. Well, this is mine, but first I'm going to strain those potatoes because we don't want watery mash, do we? and then we can get the potatoes out and give them a strain. So the bowl tricks works brilliantly. So it's where you have a colander and then you have a bowl underneath, and then the bowl underneath does make brilliant stock. So what's happened here is I've ended up with a few stuck. So use something silicone, because if you don't use silicone you can end up scratching the cooking pot. So that's what's left over in the bottom. And then for the bowl, we've ended up with a good portion there of potatoes, and that's the liquid that's left over in the bottom. So, your mash bowl. Oh, that's a good portion there. I'm quite impressed with that. So I'm going to move the Speedi out of the way because obviously we don't need it now. And then let's start making the mash, shall we? So I like plenty of salt. This is pink salt from M&S. I've got some rosemary that we've dried. And then, of course, we have to have the butter right. So chop yourself up some butter. It's okay if it's fresh out of the fridge, because as you mash it, it'll mash into it. Then you can add some more if you want, because doesn't butter make things taste better? Then mustard. I'm going with the whole grain mustard there because it's nice and it adds a bit of texture. And then your masher of choice. This is an old one that I've had for ages. And then get mashing. You'll love it because these potatoes are really soft from steaming them. And then if they start to feel a bit dry, what you can do is you can add in some milk, or you can also add in a little bit of your leftover liquid. That's why I reserve it in a bowl, because it's brilliant for if you just want to add a little bit back in. So as you can see, the butter is melting into the hot potatoes, which is what you want. And then add in a bit of milk as well. I love steamed potatoes, they're just so easy to mash. Oh, a few little bits of butter in there. And then of course, one thing I love to add to mash is some cheese. So I've got a few bits of cheese here, so I'm just going to grate some of this in as well. And this is my fine grater that I picked up from IKEA. And then I've got some white cheese here as well. Oh, a lovely bit of cheese in there. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid from the bowl. And then you want to give it a really good mash. And you can see it's coming together beautifully now. And then we can swap it for a fork. Oh, and look at that mash so far. I'm just going to add a little bit more milk because it's very starchy with these potatoes. Wow, look at that for mash. That looks fantastic. Let's try some, shall we? Oh, that mash is so good. I just love it because when you boil it in the pan, you know, it takes ages to get the lumps out of the mash. But when you steam them using the Ninja Speedi, it's brilliant. I just love it. So I'm just going to plate some up now, and it's going to be perfect for dinner. So, the mashed potatoes is fully cooled down. We've still got some left over because behind the scenes what we actually did is we made some mashed potatoes for photographs so that we could share the recipe over at Kitchen Gadgets Club, and we also did some for the video. And even with the kids eating some, I've still got that amount of mashed potatoes left over. So what is brilliant here is to use some ice cube trays. You can get them in different shapes and sizes. And what I love about these little ones is that they're brilliant for if you've got some food left over, and you can just do a few of them, and then they can add up over time in your freezer, and they freeze as cubes, and then you can push them out of the container once frozen into a Ziploc bag, and it's perfect for storing in your freezer. But something else to note, you can also use them and just grab a cube from the freezer if you're doing a stew or a casserole and it needs thickening, because potatoes is a fantastic natural thickener without actually having to use gravy granules and other things to thicken it up. So, shall I show you how it's done? So you basically just need whichever freezer tray you're using, your leftover mash, and some foil to cover it with. Oh, and of course a spoon for getting it out with. So let me show you. You can also use your hands if you find it easier. Use your hands. So what you do is you just push it down like that into a cube, rinse and repeat. So we're going to go again, and then push them down like that again. This is why it's good to do when it's cold, because it's easier to move about and do to the shape that you want it to. So you might find it easier just to use your hands, and then the spoon's really good for just grabbing it and pushing it down. And you can do this with any leftover mashed potatoes. And then if you add too much to one, you can always transfer it to another one. So as you can see, you don't have to have a huge amount of mash left over. So I haven't actually, I'm not going to even use all of this here, so the rest of it's brilliant for serving with something for dinner. And then give them all a push down. If some of them feel like they could do with a bit more, then go for it. Like that one, for example. Doesn't matter if they overflow in a little bit. Just adds a little bit extra to it when you're getting them out. And of course you're using the foil to wrap them in so they won't dry out. And then you look at it there, I've filled it up, and I've still got enough mash for a portion for myself for dinner. And that's how easy it is to do. So I'm just going to wipe my hands, and then we can add the foil, and it's ready for the freezer. And then remember to label it up, ready for the freezer. And there you have it, we're done and we're ready. So that's what I recommend you do next time you've got some spare mashed potatoes that need using up, and they're brilliant as little cubes, and it's just a great way to use them up, because I'm the person that does way too much mashed potato. If you're the same, then this is your solution. And this is perfect for thickening up stews, soups and casseroles, or just when you want a little bit of mashed potato. So this is what our mash looks like now frozen, and it's just brilliant like this for peeling out and then adding to a freezer bag like this one. Obviously make sure that they're heavy duty so that they're not going to split. And let's do it, shall we? I mean, this is the best bit, especially if you've got some more mash on the go and you're needing to reuse it. So they pop out so easily. I couldn't live without silicone freezer containers now. And they just fly about until you've got them all out. And wow, just like that, we're empty. And look, they just pop back in again. And they're perfect for next time. Oh, look at that. I just don't think people talk enough about these silicone containers, and we see things being frozen and then they're just kind of left there. We don't actually see what they're like when they're frozen, so check those out. Don't they look brilliant? Look at one of those cubes. I love these, I think they're brilliant. So then, grab out your bag, pop them all in, and you've got a brilliant portion of mash. I mean, look at those, and they don't take up much room in the freezer either. And then just seal them, label them, and you've got mash. Thanks so much for watching our YouTube video. It feels so amazing that you've stuck round to the end. And of course, that must mean that you like our videos. So why not also follow us on social media? You can find us at the Kitchen Gadgets Club on Facebook and on Pinterest, TikTok. We're Kitchen Gadgets Club. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos like this one. And you can also find us at kitchengadgetsclub.com, where we have a membership that shares brand new kitchen gadget recipes every week. And we also have lots of great ideas, resources, tips and tricks. And we are an ovenless kitchen, so we teach you exclusively how to cook with kitchen gadgets. And a ciao for now.